feel like I did in seminary, and I was last in the row because my name was Schambach. Random order. Last. That's good. I'm in there with all of us. The question to think about affirmation and joys and calling. Boy, the question itself brought an affirmation because it immediately took me back to a realization that God had been cultivating the soil of my life from very early on as a child, through the stories and the people that shaped my life growing up. So much so that in 7th grade, when I had a very distinctive, profound sense of God's call, that I listened, and I listened for several evenings to that in my room very quietly, and then got up the courage to tell my dad that I wanted to be a pastor. And I say got up the courage because I grew up in the Missouri Synod, and at that time, if you wanted to be a pastor at that age, you would be going off to a boarding school. And that would be a long way from home. Didn't know what Mom and Dad thought about that. I was excited. They might say it a little differently. Dad heard my request to be a pastor, and I think God had cultivated his heart and my heart because they agreed and gave up their son very early in life. And I look at that over all of the years, God keeps cultivating that call within me, and it deepens as life goes on. It is like bedrock. It has seen me through many blessings and joys, of course, but in some really deep moments of sorrow and despair. And Pastor Hennings, when you're talking about, can I do it after seeing someone I love die? You know, our daughter died, and I said, God, I don't know if I can do it again. Not because God had failed, it was just, can I? But the sense of call is like bedrock when God plants it there. And it leads me into ministry after ministry, and I see God stirring the pot in each place that he prepares for me to serve, and he stirs the pot of the gifts and the setting, and I have learned over the years just to trust the setting and to know that is where I'm meant to be. And the last 4 years in Norfolk, God has stirred the pot and given me a great sense of joy, and just having the experience of watching a church trust the Holy Spirit to give it life again. Church had gone through some pretty tough transitions, hurting, and me encouraging them to trust the Spirit. And they did, and to see them come spiritually alive again. What joy. Am I out of time already? Yeah. That's the joy. I could tell you more.